Welcome to the World Tapping Circle. I'm super excited that you're here. You probably already know who I am, but I'll just say my name is Sonia Sophia. I am the host of the World Tapping Circle, and these are my compatriots here, beautiful, intelligent, smart, savvy, bona fide practitioners who are rocking the planet, lighthouses in the communities that they stand in, and spreading the love and moving the movement. We're here together to share passion and love and a deep practice of recycling ourselves and updating ourselves into the next iteration. So thank you for joining us and welcome to the circle. We are really, really happy you're here. Not just because, oh, this is something that we're doing, we want you to come. We know that each person stands for millions of people. I mean, think about it for a second. How many people are you related to? How many people do you have in your genetic bloodline? Probably can't even put a number on it, right? Thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions. So all that DNA has memory, and all that DNA has a purpose, and you are the end of the line for now, and all that is inside you. So when you bring unconditional love and acceptance and forgiveness and truth into yourself, you're actually moving ancestral pain, ancestral conditioning, the bloodline of your people forward. So as much as that might sound heavy, it's actually just what makes you feel good, and it just so happens to free and uplift and inspire energetically, psychically, spiritually, and karmically your bloodline. So I'm super happy that you're showing up for you and inadvertently moving the movement and shifting your family and ancestors forward too. So welcome everyone. And we've got some beautiful new people joining us this evening. And everyone's popping in and saying hi, so this is a great moment to just go ahead and say hello from wherever you are logging in from. We've got Andrea. Hello, sweet Andrea. We hung out and had a Mad Hatter's tea party in the shade in the garden this last weekend in Canada. So hi, Andrea from Toronto, and Harry from Seattle, and Ursula from Vancouver. We're coming to Vancouver, honey. Don't you think I am not paying attention? I love Canada. I'm so in love with you people. Jonathan from Daytona Beach. Hello. Ryan from Houston, another Texas family in the house. Jennifer from Santa Monica. Amy from San Francisco. This is an amazing space that we can hold from all these different directions. It's so beautiful. And Kashmira, hello Kashmira, I think you're in Florida if I'm not mistaken. And Anne joining from Portland tonight, super exciting. Anthony from Nevada City, California, welcome Anthony. Super glad you're here. Another person who came and studied and trained with us. We're going to see more and more interesting faces popping up, and hopefully you've been enjoying having Jennifer lead the circle a few times in the last month, and you're going to get a treat because this fine gentleman from England here, Harry, is going to be leading you in a couple of circles very soon. So you're going to get some variety in your experience. Celeste from Chico, California, Marielle from San Francisco. Hello everyone, really welcome to the room. So I wanted to talk to you about our theme tonight, which is resentment, which sounds heavy, and it is. But the reason why we want to excavate and melt down and transform the resentment is because we need hearts of light. We need winged hearts. We need to be on fire, on point, directed, moving forward, and ready to celebrate the transmutation of our culture and the rebuilding of our society. And to do that, we cannot be holding grievances, grudges, and resentment about the past, although it's absolutely understandable and probable and likely and, you know, might be traditional to hold on to that stuff. The truth is, it's heavy, and it's going to keep you attached to that which was and the powers that were. And we're moving into a different space now. And to be able to really create, you're going to need all your energy. You're going to need all that space in your brain. You don't really have room for storage around a list of how many times you hurt me and exactly why. So what we're going to do tonight is go through some of those grievances so that you have more passion, more power, more compassion, and a lot more energy to cause and create, because this is the summer and we are causing and creating en masse. So we're going to take some old storage boxes, dump it out, sort it through, and move that stuff into a new space where we can use that same old energy in a new way to create, not holding on to what shoulda, woulda, coulda been. Okay? So, yay! Let's introduce our beautiful practitioners and friends of the circle. And just so you know, if you're watching this video or even online with us live right now, you want to be a little square here on the circle and say hi to everyone. You want to host a tapping party. You've got some friends that you want to introduce, and we're all feeling brave, and you want to be, hello, we're here with you. We invite you to email us if you want to be hosted or part of the circle and featured on Circle. Anyway, so we're going to start with Jennifer, who is the, backbone in so many ways. I don't know where I would be without you, Jennifer. She's made it possible, so thank you. So talk to us about how you've been using tapping to either process your own resentment or help other people.
Yeah, this is a really great piece. When I first started tapping, one of the things that I really was working on was relationships, because for much of my life before I really started moving into like long-term relationships, it was just so hard. They were just so fleeting, and I didn't know why. Did a lot of tapping on that, and then started to like, okay, now I'm actually like in a really beautiful long-term relationship, but stuff's coming up, and I was finding that there was like a lot of resentment coming up in my relationship. And this is going back about 2 to 3 years ago when I first entered the relationship that I'm in now. And if I didn't have tapping, I would have, like, those resentments that I was putting on my partner at the very start of the relationship would have probably broken the relationship. But because I had tapping, I realized that the resentments actually had nothing to do with him, although it really appeared to be him in the situation. Actually, it was my own father stuff, and it was me projecting my own childhood pain on him. And so I was really able to really solidly work on any resentments that I had in my relationship, and as a result was able to really free myself and also really free him from any expectations. And as a result, we're actually able to really show up together side by side without thinking that this person owes me something or getting upset if they can't show up in a certain way. And now it's more, you know, two human beings really being able to love each other unconditionally rather than like holding on to a lot of that childhood stuff. So that was like a really beautiful gift for me moving into a deeper relationship.
Thank you, Jennifer. That's so important. And if I could put that like in all bold and all caps and italicized and highlighted and blinking in neon, I would do that right now, because the best relationship advice I can give you is basically what Jennifer just said. If you're in a relationship or you're thinking of becoming partnered, or you are ending a relationship, really go in and look at what your parents laid down for you around love. A lot of us are projecting that onto our partners and trying to get a payback. My dad didn't love me, so you better love me. My mother didn't give me this, so you have to give me this. And when you finish that process inside yourself with tapping, you're going to find that your partner gets to be your partner, and they're not having to pay back a debt that they personally never incurred. And they get to be them, and you get to be you, and so much more innocent and pure and fun and real. So thank you, Jennifer.
Yeah, fun.
Mm-hmm. Kirsten, welcome to the circle. Glad to see you back. Beautiful lady. Talk to us about this subject, if you would.
Yeah, thanks, Sonia. Glad to be here. I feel like everything that Jennifer said I really resonated with, and I've seen resentment build up in all different types of relationships, romantic relationships, housemate relationships. They are often very related to family, early family relationships. I've experienced that a lot myself, and I've really seen how it can it can kind of get built up and twisted around into a really difficult situation. And, you know, I found that going through certain situations where I'm experiencing a lot of resentment, just clearing it early on or addressing it as soon as I start to feel it, taking myself for a walk and a tap, and just really checking in with it before it builds up into some kind of monster freak out is been a great way for me to just manage those feelings and inquire early on. So I encourage people to notice them when they're small, and tap on them before they build too much.
We're too wise, girlfriend. Y'all seen The Little Prince, where you pull up the root of the small plant before it turns into a giant baobab tree and eats up your planet? That's what she's talking about. Thank you, Kirsten. Harry, welcome back. Good to see you, honey.
Thanks, Sonia. Great to see you on such shining form tonight. A couple of things I wanted to mention about resentment. The first thing I thought of was the way that this has shown up in my life in terms of work. And when I was working back in London doing the 9-to-5 thing, I really felt like this resentment building up towards the work that I was doing. And you know, the job wasn't the right fit anyway, but it really poisoned the whole experience of it over time. And I've noticed even since starting to work for myself that sometimes that kind of resentment towards work creeps in. I start to feel like, oh, but it's summer, I want to be outside, I don't want to be on the computer and, you know, doing this kind of marketing stuff and that kind of thing. But what that does for me is it really takes me away from the core mission of what I'm trying to do here, what I'm really trying to offer. And the really positive and bright motivations behind why I'm doing all this in the first place. So whenever I feel that coming up, I like Kirsten was saying, just heading it off early, noticing those moments when you're sitting there doing something grudgingly, whatever it is. You know, it could be work, it could be a hobby or something, but just picking up on it early and bringing yourself back to that state of remembering why you're doing what you're doing and seeing if you can come back to a state of gratitude around it.
Very well said, Harry. I'll add to that I think that resentment is motivated by fear, basically. And when we change our motivation from love, or from fear to love, it's a cleaner burning fuel. And we're empowered to work through the night when we're in love with something and on fire for something, we believe in it. And we resent it when we're not aligned, or when we feel like we have to because we have no other option. So aligning ourselves with our purpose and remembering, like he said, why am I doing this? Oh, I'm transforming the consciousness of the world. I love that. Okay. It's on. Right? Game on. So thank you.
Sure.
So Erin, glad to see you. Welcome back to Austin.
Thank you, Sonia.
As a guest of the Tapping Circle and often hosts tapping parties. She's our biggest tapping party hostess so far. Welcome, Erin. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sonia. You know, I wanted to just pop in about resentment really quick. For me, this was when I first started tapping. I thought, oh, I don't have resentment. I'm really like peaceful and happy. And I think that it is kind of my perspective of it now after tapping is that it's long held anger that has kind of festered and turned into resentment. And tapping is a great way. It's really that love is the universal solvent to help scrub that away. So I definitely encourage any of you, if you're feeling maybe a little denial around having any resentment, to kind of look at the places where you feel a little bit angry. Or as one of my clients said, oh, I'm not mad about that. I'm not angry about that. That's probably a good place to start when you're searching around for those little tender places. And it makes a huge, huge difference in moving forward.
Truly, truly. And we get our life force back. Good job. It's not a pleasant thing to acknowledge. None of us want to imagine ourselves as that person who holds on to grudges, and we all want to think that we're beyond that. And the truth is, we're not. We're not. We are human, and part of us gets stuck and grumpy and wants some sort of acknowledgement, and that's okay. That's natural. It's not that we're wrong and bad. It's just that we need to work with that part of ourselves, because sometimes the friend that hurt us, the lover that hurt us, the parent, coworker, that hurt us, isn't going to give you that. So if you're waiting, some of your life force is tangled up in the waiting, and at a certain point you're like, hey, I'm taking myself back. I'm putting myself back into the flow. So that's what we're going to work on tonight. So thank you all for being here, and just want to shout out to all of our friends in other countries who are sleeping right now, that you're going to wake up and tap, and we know it because we see on our website where it's like India and Amsterdam and New Zealand and Mongolia and the Netherlands, and it's super exciting, and so we just want to acknowledge that you're here with us too. Okay, so now we are going to shift over to the core causes questions, which if you have that sidebar that says pop in, so it's a little megaphone at the right hand side of the screen. If you touch that, you'll see a button that says get started, and that's going to take you to the live survey, and we'll take that survey for about 5 minutes, spiral down to the bottom of your issue, and then pop back out with the results and start tapping on what's there. If you're watching this on replay, you're going to go to my website, Sonia Sophia, SONYASOPHIA.us. Go over to World Tapping Circle. There'll be a menu that drops down, and you'll hit Core Causes Questions or Core Causes Survey, and the PDF version will pop up. You can print that out and take it, or just write down the answers and get to the core of your issues. I'll see you guys in 5. So just a minute or two to finish up, and then please hit submit so that we get the answers. You guys hear the ice cream truck driving by? While we're waiting for the answers to come in, I'm just going to acknowledge Jennifer's response. Someone had asked if, or I guess it was Harry's response to someone here in the chat room asking if you're tapping on your stuff and your partner's not, does it work? And what we've noticed is that the more we drop our stuff, the more our partners are liberated and freed up. And the less there's a tug of war, and the more likely they are to move forward, and the more spacious it is, and the less pressure it is. And so you know that when you're not pressured, you're more likely to do something by your own volition than when you feel like you're being forced to do it. It doesn't mean that you can do someone's work for them, but you can definitely create more space by energetically not breathing down their neck, because your definition of life, love, and happiness is resting on their transformation. You know, that said, the ideal situation is a partnership where both people are really actively inspired and engaged, encouraging and egging each other on. Not saying, you need to tap on this, but more like, let's do this. This is exciting, and I'll help you, you help me, and we move each other forward in that way. All right, so we've got the responses, and good job. And some more responses come over time. Okay, good. All right, so for the people who were able to take the survey, and not everybody is, so you'll see less responses, but that doesn't mean there are less people here. It means that some people are using iPads and iPhones, and many people are using it on replays. But the people who were here and able to take the live survey, we've got 37% saying relationship is their place of choice for tonight, and purpose is the next big runner-up. Others working on various aspects. Okay. 68.8% saying fear is their #1 feeling, anxiety, also worry and overwhelm, feelings of being alone. And right now I'm just going to remind you, as you can see Kirsten and the other practitioners going, oh, we're tapping. Oh yes, we're tapping, because these feelings are already being stirred up in your subconscious. So tapping the chest is a nice place, but you can also tap the head or the eye or under here. It doesn't really matter where you begin. So just tapping and breathing and acknowledging these feelings in yourself that are already stirred, and maybe some of the same ones that I'm reading. 62% are saying feelings of being stuck, frustrated, resentful. People saying, I feel attacked. Others saying, I feel broken. Others saying, I feel misunderstood, shamed. Some disorientation, disconnection, feelings of being broken and incapable. All right, negative self-talk. I'm not good enough. I don't have what it takes. Okay, it's impossible to heal. Those are the first things that we're clearing, 53%, 40%. A lot of people saying there's not enough money, not enough time. That's pretty standard. I have to do it all by myself. Feelings of not being ready. People saying, I'm too much. Well, welcome to the I'm too much circle. I think anyone who's really doing their work is probably going to hear that from the peanut gallery out there. You're too much, you're too much. You're always wanting to talk and feel and say and acknowledge, and you're telling me about this and that, and okay, it's all right. But the way forward is by being more alive. And some people are going to say that's too much. That's okay. Feelings of it being too hard. A few people saying I don't deserve happiness. Others saying, I don't want to think about it. Okay. Tapping the chest and breathing. What does your culture say about this? Selfishly unthinking, consume. Those that can't maintain a lasting long-term relationship are broken. They don't mean to be rude. This should be easy. It should be over by now. I know what to do. Get over him. It's normal. That's years ago. Get over it. You're too old for love. You aren't the right body type. You're not attractive. If you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. Everyone must have a big deep breath. That was a mouthful. Okay. Energies in the body, colors. Different colors represent different things. Unusually, gray has the biggest number of people voting on that in this survey. Gray means stagnation. It's just been there. It's almost resignation. It's sort of like, yeah, color's drained out. So what? Okay? When did this issue first start? Most people are saying they've experienced it their whole life. Who do you hold responsible or blame for this issue? 28.6% are saying myself. Others are blaming various people in the family. Okay? Who in your family modeled similar attitudes and feelings? So mom did, dad did, different people who raised me. Where do you feel it in your body? 42.9% are saying stomach. Stomach is solar plexus. Solar plexus is power, will, feeling strong, feeling confident. So a lot of people are saying this is really affecting my self-esteem, my feeling of having a choice, my feeling of having a voice, freedom, and capacity. If your issue had a texture, what would it be? 28% are saying heavy. Everybody else is saying variations on that theme. 14% are saying festering or tight. So festering means this has been here, been here, been here, been here. Tight is I'm holding it, protecting, waiting for it to be over. What do you receive out of holding on to this issue? Whopping 42.9%, protection, protection, protection. Others punishing themselves or trying to prove something. Rate the intensity of your issue. We have nothing showing up in the circle tonight. That's rated below a 6. Okay, you hear me say this week after week. If we get anyone to anything below a 6, then we have created a miracle. But I know, as you know, if you've been doing this, that that's going to happen way beyond. Okay? So let's get to tapping. So finding a sore spot, I was trying to say point and spot at the same time. So pressing around in the front of your chest, you're going to find a tender spot. For some people, that's going to be further out here. Some people, it's going to be further down here. Some people, it's going to be right in here. So press around this area, like a little semicircle, until you find a tender area. It's going to feel a little more sore than the surrounding tissue. Give yourself a big, deep breath. Big, noisy sigh with a nice open jaw. And if you're new to the circle, I just want to remind you that that big, strong, noisy sigh breath is the way we're going to do this. That's going to help you release energy faster. That it's totally normal for you to feel aches and shakes and quakes and burping and yawning and flushes of energy, feeling really sleepy, feeling tons of emotion moving. You don't really need to worry. Just let your body do what it does. Keep relaxing and breathing and tapping. And you're going to get through that chunky part and into a sweet part. But hold on. Keep with us. Stay present. Repeating after me, remembering that you can edit the words to go with what's more true for you than possibly what I'm saying. Remember, this is about your experience, not about me mind reading you, although I might. Tap your temples and repeat after me. Even though I have this issue, and I want you to think about that issue for a second and breathe. Ready? Tap the cheeks. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. thinking about your issue, tuning into it, and just being open to loving yourself even though things are as they are in this area of your life. Tap into the nose. Part of me feels really stuck here. Tap into the lips. Big, deep breath. Okay, tap down to the chest. This part of me that feels stuck. Tuning in to that part of you that feels stuck or broken or damaged. Big, deep breath. Try it again. Kirsten's doing a beautiful job of modeling the breath. Ready? Big sigh. Here we go. This part of me, tuning into your issue. Okay? I'm going to tap the front of the rib cage. This point is right here beneath the front of the ribs. Big, deep breath. This part of me. Tap the side of the ribs. This part of me that feels stuck. Oops, there goes my camera. Let's try that again. Tapping the front of the ribs. This part of me. At the side of the rib cage, this is the side seam of the body. It's nipple height, side seam of the body. This part of me that feels stuck. Big, deep breath. Thinking about the issue where you feel the most jammed up around this. Okay, inside of the wrist. Even though a part of me feels really stuck. It's like my camera's having an interesting experience. Sorry about that. It's part of me that feels really stuck. Tuning in again. Up the side of your thumb, right at the edge of your thumbnail. Part of me feels stuck. What is that stuck feeling? Is it stuck in anger or sadness or fear? Where do you feel stuck? You still feel stuck in confusion or even just stuck in numbness. Up the middle finger. What's the feeling around the stuckness? Ask yourself. It might even be resistance. I'm stuck because I don't want to go here. Try that out. If you don't know how you feel, try that. I'm stuck because I don't want to go here. Tap your little finger and breathe. Good. Tap the side of the head. This issue. Say what your issue is about again. Tapping the top of your head and the sides of the head. I'm open to loving and accepting myself even with this issue. Beautiful. Tap the eyebrows. Let's say it again because that's really fun. I'm open to loving and accepting myself even with this issue. Big breath. Tap your temple, thinking about your issue again. Tap the cheeks. I feel really, and then fill in the blank. I feel really what about this issue? You say that 3 times as you tap under your nose. I feel really, say it 3 times. And tapping under your lips. Big breath, make some sound. Tap the chest, even if a part of me feels really what? I love and accept myself. Oh, you're doing so well. You just landed right there. I can feel you. Tap the front of the ribs, even if a part of me continues to feel really what? Tap the side of the ribs. It's okay. I accept that I feel this way, and say that feeling 3 times. Example, all this anger, all this anger, all this anger. Big breath. Good job. Tap the inside of your wrist. Let's do the opposite wrist this time. Even if a part of me feels like this, say the feeling again. Tap the side of the thumb. And I've been feeling this way for how long? It's hard to admit. I know. Makes me burp just thinking about it. Tap the index finger. I've been feeling this way for so long. Big breath. Tap your middle finger. It's okay. This is how it's been. Big breath. Tap the bottom of the first finger. I do not want to let go of this. Hang out there on that little edgy place. We all have it. Right? Even the most enlightened person is going to have to step across this if they want to get to the other side. Tap your little finger. I'm not sure I want to let this go. Just admit it. We can hang out here. We can just be like, we can. That's right. Tap the side of the hand. I'm not sure I want to let this go. Tap the top of your head. A part of me feels very entitled to feeling this way. Oh my gosh. Entitled. You have no idea. Go ahead and say that. Shake your finger. You have no idea how much I've suffered. I should get an award. Tap the eyebrows. I love and accept myself. And I don't mean to minimize your pain. I really don't. I would, writhe on the floor with you if you were to share that intimate story with me. And I'm also lovingly hanging out with the part of you that is waiting for some sort of grand compensation that, you can wait. But what if we just hang out with that part of you and see what happens? Tap into the lips. A part of me really wants some compensation here. Tap the chest. In the UK, maybe in Australia and New Zealand, they have a phrase called hard done by, which is a really fancy way of saying, I resent you. Yeah? We've got the Australian and the English person saying yes. The Americans are like, huh? Okay. Tap the front of the ribs. Even if part of me resents and feels hard done by, tap the side of the ribs. I love and accept myself. Tune into the part of you that might be also resenting either that you have to deal with this in the first place, or that this situation happened, or that it's cost you so much energy, time, attention, or money, or your youth, whatever, right? There we are. Got the inside of the wrist, even though part of me resents the what out of this. You can fill in your own word there. I'm not listening. Resents the bleep out of this. Tap the side of the thumb. Part of me really resents. I feel what? Do you feel taken advantage of? Do you feel ripped off? Do you feel hurt? Do you feel mistreated? Do you feel betrayed? Come on, you guys, let's get with it. What is that word for you? You're going to say it 5 times in a row. Tap your index finger. I feel what about this? Two more times and breathe. Tap your middle finger. Beautiful. I didn't deserve this. I didn't deserve this. I didn't deserve this. Big breath. At the bottom of the fourth finger, this is not what I expected. You feel that one land? Ready? This is not what I expected. Oh my gosh. There it is. This is where your version of reality clashes with the facts. And this is where suffering is made. Here's what I expected, and then here's what happened. Tap the little finger. I did not expect this. Tap the side of the hand. I expected what? Can you go ahead and just blurt out the version that you expected in this area? I expected to go ahead. I'll give you 15 seconds. Big noisy breath. That's right. You tell him, sister. Tap the top of your head. I expected what? Tap the eyebrows. And so part of me really resents this. And I've been withholding love, attention, energy, tap the cheeks. I've been withholding myself. Tap under the nose. I've been withholding so much because I expected, say it, X, Y, and Z. What's there? Snort it out. Keep breathing. I expected what? Say it again. Tap into the lips. I expected this to be a lot easier. Oh my gosh, me too. Tap your chest. I expected this to be a lot faster. Tapping the chest in a big circle. Front of the ribs. I expected this to be way more what? Tap the side of the ribs. Big, deep breath. Make that noisy sigh. Beautiful. And out it comes. Tap the inside of the wrist. I love and respect myself, even though I expected a much different outcome, and frankly, I resent it. Frankly, I resent it. Doesn't that feel good? I mean, really good to say that. Frankly, I resent this. It's good. Tap your index finger. I love and accept myself. Tap the middle finger, even though my heart feels resentful. And tap the bottom of your fourth finger. And this has been tangling up my energy and my thoughts. Tap the little finger. And my capacity. Big breath, make a sound. Tap the side of the hand. I'm not moving forward because I have so much resentment about this. So, sweethearts, I'm just going to tell you something. So just tap the side of your hand and tune into the part of you that isn't moving forward for a second. Because I can tell you in my life, it doesn't matter how cool you think you are, or how enlightened you are, or how much inner work you've done. You can hold yourself back with this entitled, I resent. It's very subtle. It doesn't really appear to too many people. It's quite tucked in. But you can really hold back your progress by resenting a situation, by resenting a person, even by resenting an era that you're born into. So 100 times over and over, I'm going to tell you, Find where you're holding back, resenting even being born, resenting having to do what you have to do. Humble down, relax your heart, acknowledge that this is the process, acknowledge that it sucks and it's hard, and get on with it. You move us forward when you do that. We move each other forward when you do that. And we're going to do that faster. It's not going to take you years and years and years. It's going to save you so much energy just by getting to it today. Protect the side of your head and the back of your head. All this resentment, tune into it again. Tap the eyebrows. I've been holding on to this resentment. Tap the cheeks. Big, nice, deep breath. Tap into the nose. Okay, we're just about to have our first check-in. So tuning into your issue, before you put it in the chat window, I want you just to tune in and see what number your issue is rated at now as a whole. And hang out with it. Tap the chest. I rate it as a what? What number pops into your head? And breathe, tapping around on your chest and breathing. Beautiful. I want you just to accept that that's the charge that this has for you right now. And as you accept it, you're going to find that number starts to release a little bit. You feel that shift just in a moment of acceptance. Now I want you to put it into the chat room. So the way that goes is, here's what it was at the beginning. Maybe it was an 8, and now it's a 6, maybe it's a 5. Maybe it was a 4, and now it's a 10, because you're melting off all the numbness. It doesn't matter. We're just going to see where you're at and support you in your process. And so Amy, welcome to the circle. She says it was a 9, it's down to a 5. She's halfway there. That's awesome. Erin, doing the wave. It's great for you to be modeling that. This is her standard way of processing. 7, 9, 7. Okay, it doesn't mean that it was actually a 7. It actually means numb, feeling, dropping. Okay? Ursula, 6 to a 5. So she's just gradually stepping it down. Kashmira also, 10 to a 9. Jennifer, an 8 to a 7. Cleared out some numbness, seeing more of the issue. Sahil, a 5, glad you're here. He's at a 6. Harry's gone from a 5, now feeling, defrosting, up to a 7. Anthony, holding strong at an 8. Okay, that means we haven't said what he needs yet, or he hasn't heard what he needs to unlock himself. Or he's very skeptical about whether he internally wants to go there, which is also fine. He's hanging out where he needs to hang out. Andrea, a 9 to an 8. Brian, an 8 to a 5, moving quickly. Arrow, a 9 to a 7, beautiful. Gina, a 10, now it's a 6, amazing. Sahil's reporting a 9 to a 6, beautiful. Sailor, a 6 to a 4. Hi, honey, I'm staying at Sailor's house for a few weeks. Marielle, a 9 to a 7, seeing more and more of the source of the issue. Sarah, a 7 to a 4. Okay, we're going to go back to tapping. So let's just massage these points again. Big deep breath, feeling the points in the front of your chest. Big sigh. This issue, say your issue again. Pop the eyebrows. Even though I've been feeling, what's the primary negative feeling you have about this? Is it broken? Is it hopeless? Is it scared? Repeat it 3 times. I've been feeling, say it 3 times. And tap the front of your cheeks. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. And actually be open to loving and accepting yourself in exactly the state of being that you're in, feeling this way. Open your nose. This issue started when I was how old? Think about when this started, and it's okay if you don't know, just tune in. You're just Googling, putting a search engine, being like, this issue started when? This issue started when? It's okay if you ask yourself a few times. You may or may not come up with an answer. It's amazing what mining for information will do to your neural networks, which is what we're effectively what's happening. Tap the front of the chest and breathe. This issue started back when I was how old? Tapping the front of the ribs, and I was experiencing what? What was going on back then for you? And describe the situation that you can remember about this issue. Tap the side of the ribs. Who was involved? Tap the inside of the wrist. And what were you needing? Tap the side of the hand. And I found myself deciding what? Tap the index finger, and I became resigned to feeling how? Say that 3 times. I became resigned to feeling. Tap the middle finger. I forgive myself for becoming resigned to feeling this way. Tap the bottom of your 4th finger. Even though I became resigned to feeling, say it again. How? Tap your little finger. I'm open to loving and forgiving myself. Tap the side of your hand. I'm releasing myself from the resignation and the feelings of despair and resentment. Tap the top of the head. I'm allowing myself to become empowered, even if a part of me felt hopelessly broken. Up in the back of the head and the sides of the head. You like that one, huh? Tap the eyebrows. Hopelessly broken? Oh my gosh, there it is. Tap the temples. Let's hang out with that one. Hopelessly broken. Tap the cheeks. Hopelessly broken. Under the nose. Hopelessly broken. Okay, beautiful. I'm releasing the part of me that felt trapped here. Thinking about where you felt trapped personally in this area, at this time, at this age, in that circumstance, which was what? Please describe it. Tap your chest. You're doing so well. Tap the front of your ribs. Here we go. I love and forgive myself. At the side of the ribs, and I'm open to the possibility of releasing this resentment, this fear, and this what? Fill in the blank. At the inside of the wrist, even if I'm still waiting for an apology. That's the side of the thumb. I can wait for an apology the rest of my life. And you can. Here we go. Ready? We're going to fold our arms and just lean back. Raise your eyebrows. Wait for your apology. Okay. Tap your thumb. Waiting for my apology. Tap the index finger. It's not pretty, is it? I love and accept myself. Even if I'm waiting for an apology on the inside. Tap the middle finger. Oh, an apology from who? Is it from your culture? Is it from God? Is it from your ex? Is it from your lover, your kid, the cops, your family, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a parent? Tap the bottom of the 4th finger. The whole society? Oh, yeah. Tap your little finger, waiting for this apology. Up the side of the hand. It's okay. Big, deep breath. Even if I never get the apology I've been waiting for, I'm open to loving, accepting, and moving forward. How likely is it that you're going to get God's apology, your mother's apology, the society's apology? That's a lot of people that would have to write you a letter. Your dead so-and-so's apology. Okay? How likely is it? Well, okay. Clap your temples and breathe. Tap the cheeks. I'm giving myself acknowledgement for what I suffered. Think about what you suffered. What kind of loss, what kind of injury or insult did you suffer? A loss of power, a loss of self-esteem, a loss of money, loss of time. Tap your chest. I accept the fact that I feel like I lost what? I lost my power. Turning it into what you lost and just accepting that you feel like you lost that. Tapping the front of your ribs. Even if I lost what? So much what? Big breath. Make some sound. Open that jaw and breathe. Up the side of the ribs. And part of me feels angry and sad, because that's what resentment is, right? It's a mixture of sadness and anger. The anger doesn't want to let go, and the sadness doesn't want to be felt, so we turn it into resentment. Tap the inside of the wrist. I accept the part of me that resents this, that feels angry and sad, that felt really alone. I felt really alone. Tap the index finger. Part of me still feels aloneness. Tap the middle finger. I love and accept myself, even if I always feel alone in this area. Beautiful work. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. I accept the part of me that still feels alone. Tap your little finger. No matter how alone I feel, I'm still worthy of love. Big noisy breath. Say that 3 times. No matter how alone I feel, I'm still worthy of love. No matter how alone I feel, I'm still worthy of love. No matter how alone I feel, I still am worthy of love. Tap the side of your hand. Tap the top of your head. I'm open to releasing this from my body now, even though I've been so alone in it, so angry and sad, stuck and scared, feeling humiliated at the eyebrows, injured at the temples, and insulted. Big breath. At the cheeks. I'm getting my life force back. Up into the nose. By releasing the pain and memory of what? Up into the nose and describe what it is that you're releasing. Up the chest and breathe. Releasing this feeling of what and the memory of what. Keep describing it. And tap the front of your ribs. I'm open to loving and respecting myself. Tap the side of the ribs, even if a part of me is so used to being stuck here. Tap the inside of the wrist. I'm so used to being stuck here. It's been insult to injury. At the side of the thumb. I'm allowing myself to find peace there. At the index finger. I'm bringing so much compassion to the part of me that's been suffering. At the middle finger. So tuning into that part of you that got trapped back then and stuck with this. What does that part of you need to be acknowledged for? What does that part of you need to hear? Go ahead and say what that is right now. I need to feel what? Or I need to hear that I'm what? Say that 5 times. And breathe. Big sigh. Beautiful work, everyone. At the bottom of your 4th finger, it's safe to release this. It's okay to acknowledge this. I've been waiting to hear what? Say it again. What have you been waiting to hear? Say it 4 or 5 times. I've been waiting to hear what? Beautiful. Last time, ready? Say it with feeling. Good work. Tap your little finger. I love and accept myself. And I respect how long it's taken me to hear those words. Up the side of the hand. To feel set free. I really wanted to hear this from her. At the top of the head. And it's okay that that never happened. I'm hearing it now. At the eyebrows. And I refuse to stay stuck, broken, or angry. Because I deserve my life force back and I need my whole heart now. Tap under the nose, even though it's been awful. Tap under the lips. And difficult. Tap the chest. Scary. Tap the front of the ribs. And really overwhelming. Tap the side of the ribs. And I had to figure all this out on my own. Big noisy breath. Inside of the wrist. I'm allowing myself to feel respected and included, supported, and acknowledged. Tap your thumb. Respected. Big breath. Tap the index finger, feeling included. Big breath. Let yourself feel included. Included in this love, included in this circle, included in understanding. Tap the bottom, the middle of your next finger. I'm allowing myself to feel supported. Big breath. Tap the bottom of your 4th finger. It's safe for me to finally process this. Beautiful, you guys are doing such good work. Tap your little finger. Can you feel it? I feel you. I feel it emptying out and calming down and smoothing and your power coming back and your roots releasing. Tap the side of your hand. I'm allowing myself to release this. Even if it's an old family tradition. What? How could that be? Tap the top of your head and tune in. Is this an old family tradition? Is there by chance anyone in your family that is holding on to similar resentments and maybe telling stories about a similar kind of woundedness a similar kind of anger, a similar kind of anxiety? Could it be that this is a habit that has been learned? Oh, the practitioners have voted with their yarns. What do you think is the truth? We love you so much, so brave ones. I mean, think about this, y'all. Are you brave enough to show up in front of the world and like blather and cry and sweat and yawn and just work it out in front of the world? It's intense. These guys are amazing. Ladies, guys, guy and ladies. Tap into the nose. I'm allowing myself to process this for my family. Tap into the lips. Even though this is an old family tradition, off the chest. Tune in. Is there any pride in holding on to this resentment? Have they or you built your identity around this story? Well, maybe. Okay. It's all right. Tap in front of the ribs. I built some identity around this. Oops. Ready? Shoulder shrug. Oops. Oops. Oops, I built my identity around it. Oops. Maybe for a long time, maybe for decades. Oops. Tap the side of the ribs. Maybe they did too. Okay, so if you've been feeling victimized, for example, do you come from a victimizee type mentality that's been spread through your family? Which is okay. We don't blame people. We're just clearing it and noticing and clearing it and loving and noticing. Up the side of the thumb. Big breath. Tap your index finger. I'm allowing myself to release this cultural conditioning. Tap the middle finger. This family pattern. Bottom of the fourth finger. The buck stops here. That's an American way of saying no more. Yeah. Tap your middle finger. It's okay. This has been going on for a long time. Tap the side of the hand. It's stopping with me. It's finally meeting empathy. This has been trashing my family for a long time. On this subtle level, maybe on a big level. At the top of the head, it's okay. I'm releasing this injury. Tap the eyebrows. I'm releasing this pain. Tap the cheeks and breathe. Tap into the nose. I'm releasing the embarrassment, the grief, and the way it's affected my body, tuning into how it's affected your body. How has it affected your body? Does it make you eat? Does it make you drink? Does it make you sleep? Does it make you tired? Does it make you nervous? Big breath and relax towards whatever's true for you. And tap it from your ribs, tuning in again. How has it been affecting your body? Does it make you hunch? Does it give you headaches? Tap the side of the ribs and breathe. Big noisy sigh. So proud of you for showing up. Ding. Check-in number 2. Okay? So we're going to go to the chat window for a second. We're going to tune into what your issue was at the beginning, where it is now. It was a 10. Now it's a 2. We want to know. Okay? And don't feel like you need to please us with, oh, my numbers are going down. Maybe it hasn't moved an inch. That's important for us to know and informs this work and allows me to know how to help you. So in this chat, tell us what it was, what it is, and also put in what's still holding it together. So maybe it was a 10, now it's a 2, and sadness is holding it together, or fear is holding it together. And you could say fear of what? Don't feel like you have to chat. If you want to keep yourself completely private and anonymous, that's also an option. This is just a way to participate. For the people watching who don't have the chat function, as usual, you're going to tap your chest and breathe and tuning in to what's still holding it together and where it is now, and just accepting whatever's there. Okay. So Marielle says a 9 to a 7 to a 5. Beautiful. Celeste has gone to a 6, down to a 5. Arrow's gone from a 9 to a 4. Jennifer, an 8 to a 4, recognizing the people I love around me are family, even if they do not belong to my bloodline. That is true, Mama. Aaron, it gives us a whole string of numbers, but it ends up moving down to a 6. Harry, 5, 7, 5. Anger, but I'm still not sure who or what I'm angry with. And in that case, he's just going to say this anger, this nebulous anger, and that's going to keep digging down into the neural network that has been blocked for various reasons, and he's just going to keep accepting whatever is presenting, and eventually that will melt, and he may get some memories. And it's okay if he doesn't. It may just melt through to a 0. Ursula, a 6 to a 7 to a 5. My ancestors needed to release this. I'm so glad you're doing it for them. And for you, Anthony, an 8 to a 6. Good, we got some movement. I'm glad to hear that. Marielle, a 9, 7, 5. Anger is holding it together. So whatever you're realizing is holding it together, I want you just to say this and then say what that is and keep tapping while I'm reading this chat. Sahil, a 9 to a 6, now to a 5. Resentment is holding it together. Fear of what it would take. Fear of what would take the place of resentment is holding it in place. Great. So acknowledge what you're afraid of would take the place of resentment. Would it be a bloodbath? Would it be incredible power? Would it be spiritual purpose? It could be any of those things that are scary. Arrow, deep sadness and fear for the future. Carolyn, very happy to be here, dealing with stress from school and learning a certain way. Beautiful. Andrea, a 9 to a 6. Ismira, a 10 to a 7. Deep sadness and all the pain of abandonment. Shame is holding it together, says Andrea. Gina, a 10 to a 7. Super tired, just want to fall asleep at the tapping. What's holding it together is a type of stubbornness. So anytime you're feeling super, super tired, you might want to actually stand up and walk in circles and just play this. You might even want to do it twice. It means that we're really doing something very important to you, which is why a part of you is trying to shut off and fall asleep right now. It's really pivotal and life-changing. So I'm super glad you're present enough to even chat with us. Sarah, a 7 to a 3, uncertainty of how to break this pattern. Amy, a 9 to a 2, I love EFT, but I never really cried before. I feel better. Aw. Sailor, 6, 4, 7. So I'm guessing, Sailor, that you're finding a new aspect of this, and you're working on a new piece of it. I'm guessing. We'll see. Freeing my potency and being seen. Fear of gaining 400 pounds, Celeste. Okay, here we go. Massaging the front of the chest, even though I'm aware of what holding this together. I love and accept myself. Top 5 breaths. This, say it again. What's holding it together? Tap the temples. Say it 4 or 5 times. Ready? Tap the temples, say it. Tap the cheeks, say it again. What's holding it together? Just accepting it. Don't judge it, don't try to change it. Tap into the nose, say it again. This piece that's still there. Tap into the lips, say it again. Tap the chest. Now I really want you to accept it. Big breath. Here it is. This may be as far as you get right now. That's totally fine. I may not go further than this. Give yourself permission to be right where you are. Tap the front of your ribs. I love and respect myself. Tap the side of the ribs, even if I stay right here. And I might. Okay, tapping the inside of the wrist. This part of me. This part of me is afraid of what? What are you afraid of happening if you were to go all the way through to a 0? What am I afraid of? Ask yourself 3 times. What am I afraid of? What am I afraid of? What am I afraid of? Listen for the answer. Tap your thumb, blurt out the answer. I'm afraid that what? Say it again. Tapping your index finger. Tap your middle finger. Say it again, please. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. And what bad thing would happen if this thing happens that you're afraid of? Then what would happen? Tap your little finger. And then what would happen? Tap the side of the hand. And then what would happen? Oh, we're already starting to get to smiles. Did you already go to death yet? Because often it ends up there. And then I die. Or I wish I was dead. Okay? And then what would happen? And then I'd figure it out. Right? Tap the eyebrows. I love and accept myself even if I've been afraid of this chain of events. Tap your cheeks. Part of me thinks that will happen. Tap into the nose. Part of me is pretty sure it's going to happen. Tap into the lips. It's okay. Tap your chest. I love and respect myself even if that happens and I end up what? That's right. Tap the front of the ribs. I love and accept myself. Tap the side of the ribs. And I'm allowing myself to clear this. Tap the inside of the wrist. Clearing this for who? My people, my planet, my family, my mother, myself, my father. Tap your index finger. It's safe for me to clear this from my body now. Even if I vowed to hold on to this until what? It's your secret now. My secret vow was to hold on to it until what? Until hell froze over? Until you... What? Yes. Let's see. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. I'm releasing this vow. I'm holding back my love, my power, my energy, my destiny. Because I've been waiting for what? To feel safe, to have someone else's permission. At the top of the head, moving myself forward now. Up the side of the head, the back of the head. I love and respect myself. And I'm allowing myself to do this, no matter how long it takes. Tap the cheeks. How long does this have to take? Ask yourself. Part of you knows the answer. It needs to take years. It needs to take months. It might be. Maybe I can just let it move in seconds and minutes. It's really going to take as long as it takes for it to meet a certain amount of empathy. So you could like front load that empathy right now and let it meet 20 tons of empathy. Just like, okay, here's 1 ton of empathy. Boom, here's another ton. Maybe it's just a minute and a half of empathy that you've been waiting for 10 years for. Tap the front of the ribs. I'm open to releasing this now. Tap the side of the ribs. I'm allowing myself to feel the empathy, the understanding, and the acknowledgement that I've been waiting for. Tap the inside of the wrist. Giving myself this acknowledgement now. Tap the side of the thumb. What would it be like if you were to be free of this issue that you're working on? Can you describe that? If this were to melt away and heal, I would be what and feel what? Tap your index finger. And that would facilitate what? Oh yeah. And in that case, what would happen? And then I could finally what? And other people might respond by what? How would they respond? Up the side of the hand. I'm allowing myself this new possibility. Even if a part of me is a little scared, up the top of the head, it's okay. I'm giving myself the support and encouragement that I need. Up the eyebrows. It's safe for me to process any remaining feelings of what and what. Up the temples. Remaining feelings of what? Up the cheeks. Remaining feelings. Say it again 3 or 4 times and breathe. Keep going 3 or 4 times. Say it again. Remaining feelings of what? Tap under the lips. Remaining beliefs that what? Tap the chest. Say the remaining beliefs a few times and breathe. Tap the front of the ribs. Remaining beliefs of what? Tap the side of the ribs. These remaining beliefs. Tap the inside of the wrist. I'm allowing myself to have what? What's the positive outcome that you're creating for yourself? Tap the side of the thumb. Imagine how that feels. Sit here and feel it, imagining that it happened 6 months ago. It feels good, doesn't it? Oh man. It feels really good. I'm so excited. I feel so grateful. I feel so confident. I feel humbled and touched that this is how the world is responding because I cleared this and it's amazing. And I feel so blessed. And I feel so much more powerful and sure of myself and capable and available to myself and to the world. Big breath. Up in the top of the head. Describe again how it feels in vivid detail. You've got 30 seconds. Go. Up the eyebrows. I'm creating this. Up the temples. It's safe. Up the cheeks. It's time. Up into the nose. I've suffered long enough. Up into the lips. And so have they. Big breath. Forgive everyone involved. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Big wave of forgiveness. Throw it up in the air like confetti over yourself. Let it rain down and soak into your bones. And then spread out into everyone involved in the situation. Let's do it again. Big breath. Forgiveness like a wave of confetti coming down into you. Forgiveness for you. Spreading out into the world, to everyone involved in the situation. One more time. Tapping your chest, big breath of forgiveness. Sending it straight to everyone involved, especially who and who. Imagining it being received right where it's needed the most. Everyone is forgiven, all is acknowledged, understood, and forgiven. Tap the front of the ribs. I'm forgiving myself and everyone involved. Tap the side of the ribs, say it again. Forgiving myself and everyone involved. Tapping the inside of the wrist and allowing this to be easy. Way easier than I imagined. Turned out to be easier than I thought. Tap the side of the thumb. So we're going to have our final check-in. We're just going a moment or two over. I love you so much, and I'm so excited that you did this with us tonight. Super grateful. I feel the whole field lifting. Very, very, very excited about what we're creating together for each other, for the communities that we're in, for our families, for our bloodlines. So put your final check-in in the window. Where you think you've gotten to in terms of numbers and what you're committed to. So maybe it's only down to a 4, maybe you zeroed it out. What are you committed to doing? I hope that you're committed to showing up again and again, because when you release something, it releases it for all of us, because we're all part of the same group mind, the same group heart, and the same group spirit. So when I do my work, the field's a little bit lighter and brighter. When you do your work, the field's a little bit lighter and brighter. And when we all clean up our own backyards, the whole world is sparkling and full of order and beauty and radiance and passion and power. So I encourage you to use your video library. I encourage you to get on the circle, at least commit to doing it once a week with us, and watch what happens when you put the rocket fuel of tapping into your personal life, how that changes everything you're connected to. So I'm just going to read a couple of the chats. Anything else you want to say in the chat window? This is the time to let us know how you're feeling. Let us know any feedback that you want to share with us. We read all the feedback every week and really take it to heart. And I have to say that I'm really impressed with you. And it's giving me and Team Love a lot of encouragement to know how much this means to you. Jennifer says she's gone down to a 3, showing up in love, being clear about my desire to love, connect, play, and letting go of fear of competition. Beautiful. Andrea, a 9 to a 3. Awesome, that's gotta feel good. Sahil, also down to a 3, committed to working it out, fully committed to reminding myself of how I would feel if it was clear. So keep tracking those little pieces, asking yourself, you could tap on it in the shower tomorrow, what's still left? It's going to be a lot easier to look at when it's a 3. It could be a memory that you need to tap while you're just remembering. Carolyn, down to a 2, stress going down. Gina, down to a 4, committed to doing this session a second time and continuing to release. Awesome, sweetie. Ursula, she's gone from a 7 to a 0. I really like seeing the future embodied and empowered. Marielle's gone from a 9 to a 3, committed to tapping every day, even if it's just a mini tap. The mini taps have been so helpful for me. That's really nice to know, because I spend quite a bit of time each month making mini taps, and I'm glad you're using them. Harry has gone down to a 4, recommitting to my mission, helping people connect to love, innocence, and magic. Anthony, love you. Andrea, sending so much gratitude and love, hugs and kisses. All right, so thank you, family. Keep sharing the love. I didn't send you an email yet because it's all so fresh and new, but I just want you to know that anyone that you've turned on to tapping who has maybe tried the free week and missed it or only did a little bit, let them know that we just made it our new policy to offer everyone a free month That means they can tap with us for an entire month, live and in the video library, for free, no credit cards needed. We don't want to take your money. We want you to heal. And if you want to be here and you feel like it's a value to you, great. We want you to come and be with us. We also just want to offer this to anyone who needs it, whether they can afford it or not, even if it's just a temporary help along the way. So the free month is on our normal website, the one that you go to log into to your video library, which is worldtappingcircle.com. And there's a big button that says free month. So let people know that if they're suffering, it's actually really optional. That they can try tapping, and they may be deeply surprised at how much traction they can get in their personal lives and spiritual development. So anyway, I waxed on and on tonight, so I'll let you go. I love you so much. Let's turn on your mics, Team Love, and give a shout out to our people here in the circle. Thank you so much, angels.
Thank you, everyone. Love you. Thanks for tapping with us.
Blessings, family. Good night.
Thanks, everyone, for being here. Great to be with you, and I'll see you next week.
I'll see you very soon. I love you. I'm headed to Burning Man. Harry's going to be leading the circle next week. You are in for a treat. Okay? I love you, angels. I'll see you soon. Let's keep moving and moving.